Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm looking a little bit worse for wear, you know, it's the morning, I've got lectures today, so I'm not really caring. But I'm here to start a new reading vlog, back for another reading vlog, and today we are starting, as you can tell by the title, we're starting Ruin and Rising. If you are new here and you do not know what has been going on in this channel, I have been reading this trilogy with a bunch of amazing people, and I've done reading vlogs for both Shadow and Bone and Siege and Storm, which I will of course leave linked in the description below. So it is now time to read Ruin and Rising and to do the reading vlog for it. I started this book yesterday, but I only read like 10 pages of it yesterday because yesterday was a busy day. But I have already read about 15 more pages of this day, and I'm hoping obviously to read more. So I don't have many thoughts on it yet, but I have a few. I have started this day now where I'm actually annotating my books, but I'm not annotating them like most booktubers do, all nice and pretty. I'm just grabbing a pencil and just writing it in, because then if I want to get rid of it and if I want to get rid of the book, I can just rub them out. I have done that a bit in this book. I don't really have any thoughts on the book, just because nothing much has happened. It's obviously following on from the events of Siege and Storm. The only things I have noted down so far. I feel like this is the problem with this series. I forget stuff a lot of this series and a lot of the characters in this series just because of how complex it is, I feel. Also, I'm just not very good at like remembering characters sometimes if they're not like our main characters. The character of, I take it is pronounced the Apparat. I don't actually remember his importance and who he is, even though I think he's meant to be like an important character, so cancel me for that, but I don't actually remember his character and much about him. I just know he always pops up and they always reference him, but he's like, for some reason in the beginning of this book, he's given me bad vibes. Like, I don't know if we've established truly if he's a good guy or not, but the fact that he's like traveling with Alina and like the good people, I just assumed that he was part of the good people, but he's given me bad vibes. He's being a bit of a dick. He's being a bit like just short and really like just rude to Alina and everybody. Like, I don't know how old this guy is. I feel like I picture him as like an older guy, but just some things he says and he does and I'm like, you're giving me bad vibes, mate. Like, I don't know what's gonna go on. Also, the other two things that I just picked up on was just Alina and Mal. Again, like, this would not be a Charlotte, Shadow and Bone, Grisha trilogy reading vlog if we weren't talking about Alina and Mal in frustration. Wherever they are and they're like training people, like fighting, all that. Mal and Alina and like everyone around them are talking about this girl that they know from their past who is here like training and stuff. Her name is Ruby. Mal says she got here a few weeks ago, she's good, come from the infantry. And then Alina, obviously, despite myself, I felt the tiniest twinge of envy. And I'm like, Mal says one good thing about a girl and you're like jealous. And then literally like 2 pages later, she goes on and says like, I thought of Ruby's smile, her singed braid, a nice girl, a normal girl. That was what Mal needed. If he hadn't taken up with someone new already, eventually he would. And someday I'd be a good enough person to wish him well, just not today. Make up your goddamn mind. She bounces between being like, no, Mal's mine, to no, actually, obviously we're not together, apparently. Let him, you know, have relationships with other girls or feel stuff toward other girls. But then it goes back to being like, oh, but not right now. I'm like, just what's going on? I didn't even know that they were like taking break, unless that happened right at the end of Siege and Storm and I completely forgot. And also she's saying all this stuff about how Mal can move on, Mal can flirt with other girls. But do we really think that Mal's gonna move on? This is Mal. This is desperate Mal. This is desperate toxic Mal we're talking about, so I don't think he's gonna easily move on. I think he's still obsessed with you, girl. So those are all my thoughts so far on Ruin and Rising. Again, I've only read like 25 pages, so we're not that far through. I'm gonna try and read some more today. You know the drill with these vlogs. I'll update when I can. I'll update when I have stuff to say. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to read this. Obviously, I'm very busy with uni at the moment because getting essays through and having to plan those and write those and life is so crazy. But I'm hoping I can still read a lot. I think I will, because my reading's been good recently and I know how to balance and go into the swing of all doing reading and uni and booktube and watching TV shows and stuff like that. I've got my balance, I've got my flow. I will leave this here and I will hopefully see you sometime soon for more updates. Ruin and Rising vlog, it starts here. Let's hope I like it better than Siege and Storm, because Siege and Storm, that was a journey. I'll see you all later. Hello everybody, excuse my actual like rundown appearance. My skin hates me at the moment. It's been hating me for the last like 6 months. I am here to update more on Ruin and Rising. I am about 125 pages through and I can't remember how far through I was when I last updated you. I'm enjoying it. I say that about all of them, but then I go on to how I'm ranting about a few things. I'm thinking it's between it's either a 3.5 or a 3.75 so far. It isn't annoying me as much as Siege and Storm is. I have still got a few thoughts. I've got like quite a few thoughts actually. They're basically just like loads of points throughout the book, which I've actually like annotated and have noted down on my phone that aren't even, not necessarily like important parts, and some of them I might not talk about, but like I don't know and I don't understand where Mal and Alina stand with each other. Like I must have missed something that happened that you abandoned me, Mal, and I'm like, have I just forgotten the end of the last book, or have I just missed something? Because right now I'm confused. The stuff that Alina says near page 50, she goes, he pushed me away when I needed him the most. I felt as if Mal had turned his back on me, and some part of me resented him for it. And I'm saying, like, just admit he sucks. We all been waiting. We all know he sucks. Just admit it. So I don't know what actually happened and what's going on, but obviously something happened. And then there's a scene when I'm probably gonna end up spoilering for this one, but at this point, the majority of people who are probably watching this have probably read the whole series anyway. When she's first realised she can kind of like take herself to where the Darkling is, it's just like little stuff of her being like, I admit it suited him well, when she's like talking about like his throne and stuff and him sitting on the throne. Like honestly, there was so much sexual tension. There was just a little moment in that scene and it's like, yes, I said simply, because you would be the strong one, because they're better men than you. You might make me a better man and you might make me a monster. I can just picture them standing there and just kind of like looking at each other. Like there's so much sexual tension is what I'm trying to say, what I'm building up to say. So much sexual tension between them. But I also feel like he deserves better, but at the same time, no. Because when, obviously a bit further down, and I will talk about this in a bit, when Nikolai eventually comes back, when there's like not sexual tension between them two, but when there's just a little bit of like, you know, they're flirting, you know, it's got that kind of whole love square going on. And I 100% believe that Nikolai would deserve better than Alina. But with the Darkling, at that moment I was like, he deserves better. Like he doesn't deserve someone as annoying as her, but at the same time, like now I realise they probably do deserve each other, because obviously the Darkling is a bad person, but we still stand the Darkling. And there was a moment, I think it was with, yeah, it was with the Apparat or the priest. I'm just calling him a priest because that's how I kind of identify him or remember what he is. And I think it's before they kind of go off and they kind of go like, right, we need to like get going, we need to like do our plan. You know, I said earlier in the vlog that I'm kind of sus about the Apparat, like even though I can barely remember who he is, I'm sus about him and I feel like he's giving bad vibes, but maybe not like bad vibes, but he's just a bit annoying. The last thing that Lena says at this kind of chunk, it goes, the strange thing was I believed him. And I'm kind of thinking, is that foreshadowing? Is that Leah Bardugo being like, she trusts him now, but wait until he does something wrong? Like, is that foreshadowing? Later in the book, I think this is when Mal and Alina are just kind of talking by the river at some point. It was been happening throughout the whole book, or so far. But Mal's just suddenly become this like leader. He's suddenly like, right, let's do this, let's do that, you do this, you do that, let's go here, let's go there. Like, when did you become so I'm the leader? Like, back in Siege and Storm, you were just a bit of a wet wipe who was just kind of meandering around Alina and not really doing much. But suddenly now you're Mr. Leader? Is it because Nikolai's not there? Is it because the Darkling's not there? You finally like actually have the balls and the strength to do something good because like no other man or no better man is there to like do better than you. When they end up coming face to face with some old people that Mal used to know back when he was in some sort of regiment. The one thing, once again, that this guy identifies Mal as, he's like, oh, it's Mal, that good tracker. Oh, he was a great tracker. Oh, did I tell you how much of a great tracker is? We get it, he's a great tracker. Anything else? Is there any, like, literally that's the only way this guy can identify him, because he's a great tracker, but there's nothing else that's worthy. There's nothing else that Mal has. I've been over this so many times. Like, is there anything else about him apart from that he's a great tracker? Like, anything. I wrote down when like the first time that Nikolai kind of comes in, Nikolai slashed through the bonds, and I just wrote, finally some good food. Finally Nikolai's back, and I'm so happy that he's back, because even though it hasn't been long since we last saw him in the end of Siege and Storm, it's that thing of like, I've already like what 100 pages through and I'm sick of Mal, I'm sick of like everyone. I want my Nikolai back, and he's back, and I'm happy. And then there's a scene when Nikolai, Bagra, and Alina are kind of just like talking, and just the way that Nikolai talks to Bagra just reminds me of Jace Wayland so much. And for all of y'all who are like Nikolai stans, who love Nikolai but hate Jace, pretty much the same person. I'm sorry. They're this arrogant, up themselves, but amazing guy. Like, I'm sorry if you hate Jace but love Nikolai. And then I think the final thing that I noted, which was literally just like a page before, it was at the beginning of chapter 7, but I don't think Bagra's met Mal, which is interesting. I didn't even realise that. And then when she first sees him, she goes, who is that? Alina says like, oh, that's my guard, you know, it's captain of my guard. Is he? And she's like, is he Grisha? And Alina's like, no. And then she doesn't start her sentence and he gets cut off by Mal. She goes, he sounds, and then doesn't get to finish her sentence because Mal jumps in and goes, Alina, they're coming to take blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, does background know something about Mal that we don't? Does she know something bad? Does she know that maybe Mal's not a good guy? I want Mal to become bad or just do something against Alina just so I have like proper hardcore justification so I can 100% be like, bad person, knew it all along. I have 225 pages left. I'm hoping to get it finished at the beginning of next week. We'll have to see. But I'm enjoying it so far. Like, I'm actually engaged. I'm actually like wanting to read it. Like, I am enjoying it. But because of all the characters and because of like Alina, like Alina's not my favourite main character. Like, I don't hate her as much as I hate Mal. She's still not my favourite. The rest of the team I love a lot. The rest of their little army I love a lot. So I'm just interested to see where this goes, see how this trilogy is going to wrap up. We'll have to see. And I'm going to go into town now to go and do some work because it's my last term. It's my last term of actual like lectures and modules and all that stuff. So your girl's got to be concentrated. Your girl's got to be like hardworking, no procrastinating, even though I'm watching Tortured all the time. And I will see you all later when I have more updates. Hello everybody, this is a very quick jump into the vlog, but I'm going to make this quick, or try to make it quick, because I need to leave in a bit just to go and do some work in town and I don't want to miss my bus. It's been a day, man. It's only like 1 p.m. and it's already been a day, but at least my hair looks nice. I'm not going to hold the book. You know what book I'm reading. I just can't bother to get it from my bag. The few things that I have to say is basically I love Nikolai. I would die for him. I definitely think he's my favourite character alongside the Darkling, but I think I like Nikolai better. I definitely just love Nikolai. I think I said in my clip before that he reminds me of Jace, which then was all like, oh, people who don't like Jace but like Nikolai, like, what are you doing? But he also reminds me of someone else, and this might be because of the show I'm watching at the moment, but he reminds me of Captain Jack Harkness. There are parts of him that remind me of Captain Jack Harkness, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's even down to his sexuality. I'm just saying, but he does remind me a lot of Captain Jack Harkness, who I love with my whole heart. Is one of my favourite fictional characters ever. And just the way he has that kind of air of leadership, but kind of air of kindness. He's very quick and witty and very just bold and confident, just like Jack is, but obviously he feels and he's emotional. I see a lot of similarities basically, but with what's going on in the book right now, I forgot to say how far through the book I am. I'm about 225 pages through, so I've only got like just over 100 pages left. Nikolai is constantly just kind of really showing to Alina how much he likes her in probably more of a way than just friends, and he wants to marry her basically. He wants her to become his queen, both in a romantic way I think, and both in like a kind of court logistic way for when they defeat the Darkling. I don't want it. I really don't want it. I really think he deserves better. Like, I don't hate Alina. I think she's definitely got better in this book. I just think he deserves someone a lot better than Alina. Obviously at the moment she's literally torn between 3 guys, which is just like cliche YA. We do have a reveal of the Darkling's true name, and all I'm gonna say is I just thought it was a bit of a letdown. Just a little bit of a letdown. It was just a bit, I know, yeah, I think that's the point. It's meant to be not like, oh my god, that's a crazy cool name. It's meant to be like a normal, very basic name to show that he was very normal, but it was just a bit like, oh, okay, cool. But just the scenes between the Darkling and Alina just kind of pushing Mal away. Both the Darkling and Nikolai are just pushing Mal out of the way of any potential love interest. Like, Mal as a love interest now I feel like it's irrelevant, especially as they're not like canoodling all the time. But there are just the scenes when the Darkling is obviously trying to seduce Alina and you're just there like, stop it, because you're kind of seducing me. Like, this man, I swear to god, like, you are evil, you're the bad guy. I think what I was noticing throughout the majority of the first half of the book is I just didn't feel like there was much plot progression. But once we kind of get halfway through the book, literally like exactly halfway through the book, there definitely does start to get plot progression, like picks up, and I can see where the book is going. And stuff has happened, a lot of crazy stuff has happened, and I'm enjoying it quite a lot so far. I did see people like TB and Therese kind of say that this book is a lot better than Siege and Storm. I think TB even liked it more than the first book, and at first I was like, what? Nothing's happening, but now I can see it's definitely picking up, and Mal definitely isn't as annoying in this book. I think because he doesn't actually have as much page time, he's not got much room to be annoying, you know, he's not talking and he's not in the scenes as much, so I think that kind of helps the fact that he's not as annoying as all the time. But I think the problem with this book still is that it is quite predictable. We do get a lot of reveals about the Darkling, about his past and who he is, and I just feel like it's very predictable. The moment the stories are being told and we're being told all these stories about the Darkling, I'm like, well, I know that's going to be that's going to be the connection, that's going to be the surprise. Like, I just can guess it straight away, which is a bit annoying because I want to be able to be like, oh damn, I didn't see that coming. The fact that I'm like, I predicted that the moment you started talking about it. Like, I predict it as like, oh my god, I bet you it's going to be this, like as a kind of, as like a semi joke, and then it happens and I'm like, oh, okay, sweet, cool, predicted that. Finally, just a couple more things. Going back to like Nikolai and Alina, it's good to see that Alina doesn't feel that way about Nikolai. I feel like it hurts because Nikolai likes her, definitely, and it hurts that he has to be let down and that he will be hurt by her not liking him. But as I said, he deserves better. I think if I'm gonna have to put her with anybody, it'd be the Darkling. Not that I want her to be with the Darkling because he's the bad guy. I think at the end of the day, I wouldn't be annoyed if she ended up with Mal. I just don't like Mal, and he's annoying, so I feel like she deserves better. That's all the thoughts I have. Kind of felt like I blundered through them quite quickly because I do need to get ready to head out because I need to leave in like 10 minutes. Today's just been a bit of a mess. I know I have to go to town and do work, which I don't really want to, but I think if I stick my headphones in, stick some like chill study music on, and then just, you know, get in the zone and write some essays, that it will be fine. I feel like I'm not like super stressed about my essays because I have like just under 3 weeks to write them, but also like let's not talk about it because it got me stressed. And I did just submit something very exciting, which I don't want to say yet just in case it doesn't happen, because I don't want to like, yeah, so if it happens, and hopefully I'll know in the next couple of days. Apparently that's when they tell you. It's nothing to do with booktube or anything like that, but it's exciting. I'm hoping to finish Rune and Rising in the next couple of days, hopefully the latest Monday, and it's Saturday today. I will leave this here. I'm gonna go into town tomorrow and just kind of like a chill self-care day tomorrow, so I might take you along with that, but those plans are going to be weather permitting because we're meant to be getting a storm, and it's meant to be a very crazy mad storm. I'll have to see. I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll see you all later. Goodbye. Hello everybody, it has been a couple of days. I was hoping to film yesterday and to have potentially finished Rune and Rising yesterday. But yesterday, well, it was a day that could be flagged and like bookmarked under one of those days that I don't want to remember, and was just a bit of a crappy day. It was a very bad mental health day yesterday. So therefore I didn't read that much. I didn't watch any booktube because I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. I did catch up on a bit of TV, which was good, and I baked a cake, and I ordered myself some Wagamamas. So I haven't finished it yet, but I'm 50 pages away, and I'm aiming to finish this tonight. I do have a few thoughts I was going to run through before I, you know, talk about the whole book and obviously the last like 50 pages at the end of this vlog. Basically, it's all centering around a lot of reveals that are happening at the point that I'm at. So kind of like pages 250 to kind of 300. A lot gets revealed, or for me, I felt like a lot gets revealed. We find out stuff about Mal. I'm not the best when it comes to plot reveals, unless they're really smart. Sometimes I either see them as like not a big reveal, or too over the top and too stupid. I'm not very good when it comes to reveals in books. So this reveal, it wasn't like it was over the top. It happened and I was kind of just like, where did this come from? Like, I knew and understood why they were doing it because they had to do something. At the same time, I was just like, okay. And I just don't feel like it was explained very well. That was the problem with these reveals that happen, or these kind of like big things that happen, is it just happens and there's no build up to it, there's no explanation, and it kind of just makes you go, wait, have I missed something? Was I meant to remembered something like a couple of pages? Did I forget? It's like, what? And it's just left me a bit displaced and a bit like, what's going on sort of thing with the book. 15, 20 pages after, you know, we see this reveal, they slide in more information about this reveal that's connected to this reveal that I kind of not assumed but jokingly went in my head like, oh lol, this is probably what's happening. Once again, it's just slid in there, just like matter of fact is said, and you're like, this is not something small. This is something that, you know, normally would be a big plot twist or big plot reveal and should make the reader go, oh my god, that's crazy. But like for me, I was just like, why are you talking about this so casually? I jokingly assumed it, but at the same time I'm here like, you didn't explain it. Unless I literally blanked out a part of this book, where did you explain why this is a thing? Mal and Alina have been alright throughout this book, or mainly Mal. There are just some parts where they are just as bad as each other. Like, she does stuff that Mal did in the last book that annoyed me. I think for me, I said this in probably my Shadow and Bone vlog. It was either my Shadow and Bone or Season Storm, I can't remember which one. But I was just saying how I don't like Mal and Alina together because I just felt like there was no, I'm a slow burn person, there was no chemistry, there was no build up to it. And this is the problem now, even though they've kind of been together. Now, later in the book, when, because obviously I've said earlier in the vlog, like obviously something happened in Season Storm which meant they were not together. Now, obviously they're gonna have continuing feelings for each other, but it's just so up and down. It's so like, oh, you know, we were together, we used to like each other, but now we're not, but I love him. Maybe I just don't connect with this relationship and with like these two characters and just with the story enough, but I just feel like I'm watching this very yo-yo relationship and it just annoys me. Like, I need something continuous. I don't really know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like them together. And something else happens in terms of like plot reveals, which honestly has thrown me off completely. It's about Nikolai, who is my favourite character. Once again, it makes me feel like I've missed something because how they're talking, how it appears and how it gets confronted and how, you know, it just happens in the book. It's just so like, oh yeah, that's a thing, that's cool, that's sweet, yeah, we knew that, as if we knew that and as if it was explained. And if it was, did I just blank out a chunk of the book? Because it's not something small. If you know, you know, like, have I completely blanked out a part of this book? So I was really hoping that this book would be better than Season Storm. I'm not saying it's not. It's very up and down. I go between being like, that was really good, like 50 pages, like really good chapter, whatever, that was really, really good, to what the hell just happened? So those are my thoughts, and I don't want to go into depth about anything too more, because what I will do is just, when I can, when I have time and when I've kind of done all my work I need to do for today, is kind of just hopefully maybe binge read and then hopefully vlog later with crappy lighting, but we've done it before, and just kind of wrap up my thoughts on this. I'm really going to be conflicted at how I rate this book. I want to say that it's the same as Siege and Storm. I don't think it's good as Shadow and Bone, in my opinion. It's going to be tricky. I feel like this is going to be this one series where if someone goes, so which one's the best book, which one's your favourite book, I'm going to be like, well, we know Siege and Storm isn't, but like, I don't know. I'm going to leave this here so I can go back and do some more work, get that all done. I need to do some editing because I've barely edited any of this vlog. We'll try and finish this tonight, hopefully, if everything goes to plan. This book is very conflicting. I'll see you all later. Hello everybody, we did it, we finished it. Sorry for the lighting, it is like 9:30, so we're using the crappy main light, and obviously I don't have that cool professional lighting, so we're gonna have to deal with this lighting. Read the last 50 pages in one go. The ending wasn't disappointing, but it wasn't like amazing. It was okay, it was fine. There are a few things that happened which was like, okay, it was obviously gonna happen even though I didn't want it to happen. There was something that happened that I was like, I shouldn't be sad, but I am sad. And there was one thing that happened that I was like, oh yes, but then something changed. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm not gonna go into spoilers because those are like pretty spoilery heavy stuff. But overall, the ending was good. And it ended really sweetly, it ended really nicely. I haven't yet worked out what rating I'm gonna give it, and I should probably do that now actually. My ratings changed a lot throughout the whole book. I give a rating to every 50 pages and then I do like a calculation, like an average. And usually when I'm reading a book, the ratings kind of stay in the same area, like not really going up or down by 0.5, usually less than that. But I've ranged from giving it like a 3.5 to like a 4 throughout the whole book. I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5, but give it a 4 on Goodreads. It was good. I enjoyed it. There were things that annoyed me, and I sometimes felt as if I wasn't understanding everything going on and I was missed a lot of stuff, which I obviously said. I don't want to go into depth about my whole thoughts and what I'm going to be putting in my review on Goodreads, because obviously all the stuff that is on my notes and I'm going to be putting on in my review, I've already said in this vlog. I liked how it built. It's at first I was worried that we weren't really going to get an explosive finale and we weren't going to get there quickly and it was going to take a while, and that we wouldn't have enough room for a good finale. At the end of it though, it did end right. I think it could have been more exciting, it could have been bigger and better, and the way that, you know, because obviously we all know they're going to defeat the bad people, that happens in every book. I just didn't feel like it was big enough. That was my main problem. But overall, I think the characters improved. Mal was a lot more bearable in this book, which was nice. I didn't feel like I was having to have a go at him every 5 pages. Alina was kind of the same, but a bit better. But I think really what was the saving grace of this book was all the other characters, all the other side characters who were like part of their kind of like army, their little team. They were all brilliant, especially Nikolai, especially Zoya. I really enjoyed all of them, and they just really kind of made the experience a lot better. Overall, a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think my rankings would go Shadow and Bone, Ruin and Rising, Siege and Storm. Ruin and Rising and Shadow and Bone are kind of the same. I don't know. No, they're probably not. Shadow and Bone's probably better. So that is all my thoughts, and that is my vlog, and that's my reading time of Ruin and Rising. We have come to an end of reading this trilogy, which feels so weird because for so long I was meaning to read this trilogy and I finally did it. Obviously, it helped because I'm in a group chat that we all really, said we were going to do a read along together, like every month, read one book, which I'm really glad we did, because it's been just so much fun. Because there's just even though not all of us are doing it, the few of us who have done it for every book have just kind of had this little journey together. And even though there are some people who are kind of reading them more casually, we've all just had this really great experience together. I want to give a little shout out to TB, Therese, Charlotte, because there are so many of us in the chat. It's kind of hard to remember who has been reading all these books consistently, because there have been like some people who have started and just haven't really got into the series, but those 3 have definitely, like, we've been all continuously reading the series. Obviously there are others in the group who have been, but like I think especially TB and Therese have been on it. They're the ones, like us 3 I think are the ones who are like on it the moment the month starts, because we want to continue the series. I think it's been a great experience reading more. Obviously our read along's not ended because we're going to be reading the Six of Crows Trilogy together, and I think we're going to be reading King of Scars together, which I haven't read, and I've read the Six of Crows Trilogy. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think I will read the Six of Crows Trilogy again, because now that I've read this, it will be very interesting to read it. Even if I read Six of Crows at least on audiobooks, I know I can get that through my library. I think it's just been a really great experience, and I'm really glad that I've read this series now, because it's one of the most popular on BookTube, and now I can kind of say that I'm ready. I'm ready for when the TV show comes out. I'm very much excited for the TV show now. I feel like I can justify how excited I am now, because I have read kind of both the series that the TV series is going to be based on. I'm very excited just to see what they're going to do with it, because they are merging, in a sense, the characters and the stories and just the world all together. They're merging the Grishaverse, or the Grisha trilogy, and the Six of Crows trilogy kind of together. I'm very intrigued how they're going to do that. How are they going to change the plot lines, or are they going to change the plot lines and the characters, and how they're going to merge together? I'm very excited, and you all know I'm very excited because the cast is brilliant. Ben Barnes, throughout the whole of reading this trilogy, I've really pictured Archie as Mal, like he's just always been in my mind, and I'm very excited to see Jessie as Alina, and to see Amita as Inej, and to see Freddie as Kaz, and Kit as Jesper. I'm so excited to see all of them, and everyone else. There's a massive cast now, we're getting more and more. I'm so excited that Luke Pascalino, aka Freddie from Skins, is David, and Bagra is being played by Zoe Wanamaker. Very excited. If you have been here for all 3 of the reading vlogs, thank you very much. Thank you. And if you haven't seen the other 2 vlogs, obviously they will be linked in the description below. But we've had a lot of fun reading this trilogy. I will not probably be doing reading vlogs for Six of Crows, just because I've already read them. I don't really feel like it's going to be as exciting of an experience, but obviously I will be probably tweeting about it. So thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do not forget to subscribe if you are new, like the video, comment some of your thoughts on this book if you have read it, or anything, just comment anything. All my social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads, Snapchat, Spotify, loads of stuff linked in the description below for you all to go check out. Other than that, it's been great. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.